What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video by your boy. So if you are planning on being a Danny Boy main, and I'm not talking about regular Danny Boy, I'm talking about the High Elder, the Imbibitor Lunae. If you're a Welt main, if you love mono imaginary team comps, I think you're gonna want to grind out the broken kill set as much as possible, because the synergy of it with mono imaginary comps is frightening. It's quite strong because a 40% increase in crit damage if you put the set on all 4 people, it's significant because most teams, you have a hyper buff team composition. I'm watching to see if my daughter wakes up on the camera, sorry. If you have a hyper buff composition, and her eyes are open, I'll be back. Okay, sorry about that. Bubs was showering, so I had to watch the camera while she was in the shower, and of course, daughter wakes up. Anyways, I was saying hyper buff compositions. Most times people are running compositions where maybe 1 or 2 people are dealing damage. That's it. So if you put a 40% increased damage and an effect resistance set on all 4 players, 2 people are the only ones benefiting from that. But on mono imaginary compositions, you got Wukong, Lorcha, Welt, and then now Imbibitor Lunae. All 4 of them are capable of dealing damage, with the exception of Welt and Imbibitor doing much more damage. But the composition that I have in mind for these mono imaginary team compositions is going to be Wukong, Silverwolf, Lorcha, and then either Welt right here if you're a Welt main, or Imbibitor Lunae if you're a Danny main. So the crazy thing is all 4 of them are capable of dealing damage. So when a 40% increase of crit damage is given to the entire party, all of them are going to benefit from that. Wukong can pop off for 30k with her ult, or higher than that. Lorcha can pop off for 10k with his autos and 20k with his ult. Welt can pop off for who the hell knows how much damage, depending on your Welt's investment, his eidolons, etc, etc. And then of course Danny man, the High Elder Danny Boy coming out, he's going to be dealing a ridiculous amount of damage as well, I'm sure. And then of course you have Silverwolf. You have the option of running her with break effect, but on a team like this, you might want to mid-max her as a DPS, since she has the crit rate addition given to her by Wukong, as well as a crit damage boost. But when you add all of this up, you know, we're talking about 100% increase in crit damage when you add up Wukong's burst in addition to the 40% increase in crit damage. Now, the cool thing about this is somebody like Welt already has 10% increase effective resistance built into his kit. So with the 10% increase from the set and the 10% increase right here, that would leave you with only having to obtain 10% effect resistance in sub stats, which is very easy to do. But for other people, such as Lorcha, he has no effect resistance in his kit. He just has the most broken crowd control debuff. So if you build in another 30% effect resistance and combine it with this, he is perfectly impossible to CC at that point. But you have to build in 30% effect resistance, which can get in the way of mid-maxing. It's going to be a bit of a problem. However, it's worth it if you're really trying to be a High Elder Danny Boy main or a Welt main. The damage is going to be insane. And then finally, she also doesn't have any effect resistance built into her kit, nor does Wukong. So everybody else is going to be a grind to get that effect resistance sub stat in addition to crit rate, crit damage. And then, I don't know, maybe you want speed or break effect or attack percent in their sub stats, right? It depends on who you're utilizing. At the end of the day, though, if you are serious about it and you bid max this, there is no negative here, guys. I'm telling you, there is literally no negative, because everybody is capable of dealing damage. I think it has potential to be the strongest composition in the game once Danny Boy drops, but again, that's just a hypothesis. We're far away from his release. It's totally a theory craft, and I'm just, you know, creating good conversation, which I found out I'm really good at. Whether you agree or disagree with me, you cannot deny that I invoke good conversation, thought-provoking conversation. But yeah, for my plan with the mono imaginary team comp, I think building a bunch of effect resistance on all of them, which is going to boost your ability to be hard to crowd control, as well as increase the damage of the whole party. I am personally going to bang the shit out of that. The only issue is I have to get an imaginary sphere on Welt, on Lorcha, on Wukong. That is also going to be a whole nother headache in and of itself, man. And then we take into consideration the rope. You got energy recharge, which is what she needs. I'm okay with attack percent on him. She's going to need some good mid-maxing. Welt's going to, it's like, holy hell. When you consider all that, I can easily see some of you saying, yeah, fuck that, it's not worth it. And then of course, if the broken kill grind wasn't enough, you're now gonna have to grind up an imaginary set for all 3 or all 4 of the imaginary units, because all of them are gonna have to use this set as well. But it's a banger set that really, the thing that separates the imaginary element from the rest of the elements is this bad boy right here. 10% increase in crit rate, 20% increase in crit damage. Like, God bless, man, that's a lot of value, and it enables multiple DPSs to pop off. So I think the mono imaginary element out of all the elements has the most capability of really shining with multiple DPSs. Anyways, it's just a thought. I'd love to hear you guys comment down below and let me know your thoughts. As always, I hope I at least brought some good content to discuss and some value, of course. Take care, and I'll catch you on the flip side.